DBS community, welcome back to another Dragon Ball Super video here with Kyle Chris, and today I'm going to bring you guys it's going to be a commentary video over one of the matches I played in the TAC regional, the Australian regional over the last weekend. The reason why I'm doing the commentary over it is the gentleman I was playing against, I believe he said he was from New Zealand. It sounded like he was playing in a factory. No joke, and it was very difficult for me to hear, and I didn't think you guys would like to listen to that. Listening to me asking him how many cards he has in hand, you just can't hear anything. It's really bad. So I figured I'd do the commentary over it, just to make it a little bit easier to kind of digest audio-wise, and maybe I'll do this for more videos in the future. So make sure you guys like and subscribe, though, if you guys like these sort of videos. Let me know if you guys like these intros, if it adds a little character to the video. As always, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. We do post videos weekly on the channel, and we'll get right into the battle. So, it's going to be kind of a weird picture-in-picture thing here, so I apologize. Eventually I'll come up with some other, idea for this, but, as you see, I'm playing Mecha Frieza here, and, the gentleman I was playing against was playing Blue Dende Wish. It was a very, very strange deck. My Mecha list, as you guys will probably see at the, once I post all the videos that I, have from the tournament, you guys can check out the list there. It's, I like to toy around with the lists and try different things. It felt okay, but I think I was missing something from this particular type of list, and I should be able to do that, kind of fix that in future videos. So the list here, he was playing all the blue stuff. It was very strange. I didn't know what he was going for, and then he played the Vegito, the World's Strongest Candy, and the Energy. I'm like, okay. So he's attempting to basically loop into the I think it's a dual attack, double strike guy who pops something with barrier. And I thought he was just going to keep going into those. That's kind of what his idea was, and he was trying to do that, as you guys will see. So turn one, charge up Vegeta, because I didn't know what I was playing against. I'm like, yeah, I'll just charge Vegeta, it's fine. And I put a Slug. He was playing blue, so I'm like, okay, there's probably not a really good chance of him just, taking away this, on turn one. And then on his turn, as you can see, he does the Shinran, or the Sin, not the Shinran. He does the Wish Leader stuff. I'm just so used to talking about Sin. And you turn your card sideways, you burst, you search for Dragon Balls so you can get 7, so then you can awaken. So, turn 2, charge a cooler, swung, and passed. And the problem was I didn't see a 3-drop Slug, which was kind of important. I also have a very, very, very bad hand in this game, and obviously you guys can't really see that, but my hand was incredibly terrible. I do run the Aegis package in this variation of the deck, and as well as the Slug, and I think I had 2 Bojacks in hand. I drew the Vegeta, the Cooler, I think it's a Masu, and I think that was most of my opening cards there. So it was kind of rough. I just didn't know really what else to do. I was just kind of felt like, you know what, I'm just gonna charge. I have counterplays in my hand. I have options opened up, so I'm just going to hold on to everything and just not really give him any sort of, not give him a ton of extra cards by, playing out U9 and going into stuff. So, and mainly considering because he's not really swinging with anything here at the beginning, so wouldn't really make that much of a difference. So right now he's counting the Dragon Balls. I charge a Frieza Army Reinforcement. This is just how bad my hand is. It was not a good time. So I swing a leader, draw, and he combos one of the Saiyan duo Gokus. And then I pass, and it was very, very unfortunate these few first turns. I wasn't really able to do much. So we'll see what happens here. So he does the same thing, bursts, and then searches the deck for the Dragon Balls. So now he's going to get the last 2 Dragon Balls, and I haven't really been able to do anything, and it's really, really unfortunate. So we got the last 2 Dragon Balls, and if you guys don't know how the Wish Leaders work, because maybe you're newer, never seen them play before, basically they get 7 Dragon Balls from their life or deck, put them in the drop area, and once they're in the drop area, now they have the ability to awaken. So he uses Fount of, I think it's called Fount of Spirit, right? We can play out a 2-drop or less from the drop area. And So that's what he does. He plays out the Goku, and then the Goku allows him to put the top card of his deck underneath it, and then he gets to play out a Vegeta, I think, from his hand. And he goes and plays Vegeta. Oh no, he puts in the drop area, and then he plays the card. I think that's what he was telling me. It was, like I said, it was hard to hear him. I was just kind of I pulled up some of the cards on stream, and I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna kind of look at these stuff because I don't know. Not that I didn't believe him, I just didn't know what the heck these cards did. This is a really old strategy, obviously. So plays the Goku, and then plays the Vegeta. The Vegeta gives the Goku plus 14k, so he becomes a 15k body. So he ends up swinging with this. And at this point, I'm like, okay, he hasn't swung at me the entire game because he's playing this Wish Leader, so I'm going to just take the life and just kind of go from there. And not really, didn't really have to deal with anything. So then he does the power combined. And this one combines both of them, and then he plays it for 1. He draws a card, and then if he played this card using a Union Patora skill, he gets to draw another card. So he draws 2. It's a 20k body, and then this is what he uses to swap the Vegetos from his energy with this card. And it's a very interesting concept because the deck is just swings a ton. So now he's swinging in with the 20k. Now it's me looking over at the screen. I'm like, okay, I need to read this 3-drop because I don't know what the heck this card does. So he's swinging with 20k. I end up taking that life as well, just because there's nothing else for me to do. I wasn't able to do anything else. So now he's going to use his ability, which is he taps 2. And plays out the World's Strongest Candy from his energy. Those cards go to the drop, and then he puts the power combined it into his energy. Now this card's a 15k. Now this card, I think you can swap into you can swap back, I think, or you swap into the Full Throttle, which is the Bosch-ish monster type of card. So now he's the monster there. And we're going to just basically pull out the Bojack because I don't have anything else in my deck. In my hand currently. Now he uses his effect, which I think he just bounces it back to the energy, and you can play it back out. Yep. So this is kind of what his whole idea was. It was just to keep bouncing these cards back and forth, just to keep swinging with them, which is it's a cool little idea. Then you can draw a card. I let it go, and at this point, I'm wanting him to attack me. I want him to attack me because I have no real way of awakening, and I want to. I didn't have any U9. I don't think at this point, or I either had a U9, but because he wasn't tapped out, it just felt really bad. So then he awakens, adds a card with Wish back to his hand, or Desire. I'm sorry, same thing, right? Activates it to play out another 1-drop. And does the same thing again, puts the top card of his deck. It's a very cool strategy. It really made me want to visit the yellow Frieza Wish Leader as a concept, and I think I'm going to, just because it just looks really fun, and I just want to try a Wish Leader. I'm also going to try Dende as well, probably at one of my locals. So then he does the same concept again. Now he's swinging with Goku. And this is where I play Frieza Robotic Riposte. So this is the new TP. And this card says my opponent cannot attack anymore unless they tap a card. So now he has 1 energy open. I think he already used his leader ability. But he has 1 energy open, which is enough for him to play out another 20k, and I just wasn't having it. I was tired of it. So I played this card. Stopped him from attacking. What this card does is its skills are negated if you have for every yellow extra card in your energy or your drop area. Since I only have 1 card in my energy, it became a 2 cost instead of a 1, which is more ideal. And then if your opponent wants to attack, they have to tap a card first. So there's me charging U9. I charge the U9 because I'm like, okay, he's not tapped out. He's playing blue. It's gonna be very difficult to get him tapped. So I charge, and then I swing 20k into. I think I swung at the Goku or the Vegito, one of those 2. I did not swing at Vegito. I didn't really care too much about the Vegito. So So I swung at one of the 1Ks, and I did this because I wanted him. Yeah, that was Vegeta. I wanted him to. I just wanted to clear it, and I felt like if I swung with that, it was great. I would have swung with the slug, but I still did not have 3-drop slug in my hand, so that probably was the better idea. So I'm thinking here. I think I was going to swing him the 15K into his leader, but I'm like, I don't want to give him cards currently. So I think this is me swinging at his leader now. I think I realized I'm okay. I'm going to swing at his leader. It should be fine. No, I swung at the other 1K. Okay, so I swung at that guy, cleared his board. And I think here I swung at Vegito. I'm basically just getting the swing off because I don't want to give him I don't want to give him cards. I'm at this point I'm like, okay, I don't know what else his deck does, so I don't want to give him more cards currently because I'm in a very bad spot. And that's something you can do sometimes if you don't want to, obviously the name of the game is to take your opponent's life, but sometimes you don't have to attack your opponent's leader. Just, attack other things on board. It's really annoying when your opponent wants you to take a life, like, yeah, attack me, and you don't do it. So I U9 there just so I can awaken. I draw 2 cards, and then I push the damage onto the Vegeta. So I go up to 30k, and this way I have the ability to pressure him. So he has to combo at least 15k, which is the ideal number here. He has to go up to he has to go up to 35, which is not ideal for any deck. You don't want to waste super combos like that. So I clear that off the board. 3 energy standing, feeling pretty good here. And let's see what I play here. So that card, the Basil, I actually drew that, I believe, off of the U9. So I did not actually play that card out earlier, or else I would have, since he had everything tapped. So I played that, grabbed that, and then I played the Medical Unison, which then I used to absorb a card to draw another card. So I draw 2 cards for 3 energy. Have a 15k body now that I can swing. Sorry about the camera going in and out. That's what Discord does when I can't turn off the autofocus for some reason. So we do that, and we swing 15k at his lead. Now we give him a card, and now we have a board established. I'm completely tapped out, but I have Aegis, and I have the ability to take my own life, which is very important, obviously. So I think in my hand currently I have a Trionical Blow, if I'm not mistaken, and this is why I felt comfortable with tapping out. So because I had Trionical Blow, I knew that my opponent would try to go into the full throttle to bottom deck my Bojack. And if I can stop my opponent from actually getting to that point by using Trionical Blow, I can stop the 3-drop from being effective, and it just makes him waste cards. And that was the goal. The goal was to just make my opponent waste these little cards, and put a lot of pressure on my opponent to actually have to make a play. So here he does the Fount of Spirit, and does the same play again. So he plays the 2-drop. He's gonna put the top card out of his deck, and honestly, I was hoping that would give me more information by actually looking at his cards, and he didn't really grab anything. I think it was like 2D Magics, and then a Goku is what he put underneath. So he just got lucky with a bunch of stuff. And there's a Trunk, so I saw that. So he does run a Unison, and I don't remember if he actually plays the Unison at all in this deck. Or in this game, I don't remember. So he plays the Goku. I mean, he plays the Vegeta. Now he has a 14k. Now he has the 15k body on board again, and he swings. And I think I want to say I tap. Okay, so he Senzu Beans up to 4, so this way he has enough energy to go into his mechanic. So I Aegis, draw a card, and then so I've actually been doing that more often now. Is where I actually use the Aegis ability to draw the card first, because that's how the effect reads. You activate Aegis. Well, I think so. You activate Aegis, and then you can use the actual ability of Aegis. So there I Aegis and restored 2 energy. This way I could use my monster super combo to tap his leader. Although it doesn't stop me from stop the opponent from getting a draw. So here he plays Kami, and I was like, oh my god, okay. So he plays Kami, and wipes my board except for Bojack, which is nice. Which I don't think he knew that Bojack was a 7 cost. And then he was attempting to try and play again, and I told him that, I'm like, yeah, your cards are affected too. He's like, oh yeah, that's right. I'm like, okay. Do you think it just wiped my cards? It was a weird thing. So, So yeah, so there he goes, uses 3, uses his ability to draw, which is fine. Uses his ability to draw again. And then he passes. So he keeps 1 energy up. This is for his dimension magics and things like that. So, so turn 5. So now I finally draw a slug. After my slug gets cleared, I'm heated. So I play Absolute Annihilation Goku. Barrier blocker, deflect. That forces your opponent to tap an energy before they activate an extra card, which is great. So now he's at 1 energy. So now he can't actually use Senzu Bean and he can't use D-Magic properly unless he takes a life. Which if he sparks, he can retain the 2 energy. So absorb an extra card with my Unison, swing at leader. And he's probably not going to negate any of these because although he has a good amount of cards in hand, obviously he's going to want more cards. So we swing in. I think just 15. He ended up taking it. And now I'm just going to kind of beat him down with all these 15 and 20Ks. That's kind of the goal. And that's the one big problem I found with the deck is if you're going to run Aegis, you need to run the Bardock Reader's War card, which I'm not running in this deck. If you're not running it, if you're just running normal Mecha Frieza stuff, just normal mono yellow, you kind of need Xenocell, unfortunately. And that's kind of the brass tacks of it is you do need Xenocell. So if you don't have Xenocell, just run Aegis. It's unfortunately it's kind of a pain not being able to use that card. But so here he Zenos. I thought this was kind of interesting. I actually don't know. I'm gonna look real quick. Okay, so we're back. I'm gonna check real quick if the Zeno super combo. I don't remember if you can just take any card. Yeah, you can just choose any card. Okay, interesting. Yeah. So now he uses another card, and now he's trying to get back some of his other cards here. So here he tries to use the Hero in Lineage on me. And I think he was trying to take the Bojack, but I told him that both of my cards had barrier, like prior. And I don't know why he tried to use it, because he knew they had barrier. So he just combos out. I'm like, okay, cool, now I know he has the Heroine's Lineage SER. So that's something you got to be careful of, is showing your opponent's cards. If you're in local play and you're just mess around with your friends, it's fine. But if you're in an actual tournament and you're trying to compete, try not to do that, because then you just give your opponent just free value for things. So here he hard casts the Vegito, and I hit it with the T-blow, so this way he doesn't get a draw off. And I know he's hurting really bad because he played this for 3. And that's why I did it. If he would have just went into the normal Goku stuff, I probably wouldn't have did it. But the fact that he hard casted it for 3 told me, I'm like, okay, this guy is desperate. He really needs to get this card on board. So I used that ability, and then my leader ability put it in rest mode, so that way he doesn't get an actual attack off too. So ended up being a really good play. It kind of stopped him in his tracks here. So I think he goes to play another one. I think somehow. I forgot what he does here. I think he may go into the 15K. I think he was asking me how many cards in my hand. I sat at so this is I don't know why I'm taking a life here. Yeah, I don't know why I took a life there. I misplayed there. Yeah, I think I just used. Yeah, it's weird. I think I used T-blow and I didn't actually tap his cards, so that is a misplay on my part. Because I shouldn't have went down the 3 there. Not that it matters. So he swings with leader here. I Nimbus. I Nimbus because I knew he had 2 more energy up, and I wasn't trying to get hit with anything. I was a little annoyed at this point. I'm like, all right, I'm tired of getting hit with all these 15K and 20K cards. So, which is how people probably feel when they play against me, since that's mainly what my deck runs. So, stopped him there. So then he ends his turn. Now we're on turn 6 here. So, Let's see what happens here, because I don't remember. I actually don't remember most of these matches. Just because it was really late. So here I absorb the Nimbus, draw a card. Very, very good card. I love the Medical Unison, and I swing in with the 20k Goku. I don't remember what I swing into. I figure I swing in the leader. Yeah. So here I'm trying to remove the Vegito off the board. So I'm trying to make him waste cards. That's kind of the best thing, is that you just use this to just force your opponent to just, like, okay, if you want to save this card, you're gonna waste cards. U9 here to draw 2 more cards. Can't use the effect. Add a marker to my Unison. And this is one of the biggest problems I found all day, is that I was not able to actually U9 properly the entire night, and it was very aggravating. So there I combo up to 25. This is going to force him to use another super combo, which is, I think, the 3rd one at this point. So I was really happy with that. I'm like, okay, this is the only way you're going to save this card. You're either going to waste 2 cards, or you're going to super combo. So I got another super combo out of his hand. And now here we start swinging at a leader. So I wanted to waste a few cards on the Vegito. Now I'm going to give him some of those cards back, I think. I actually don't remember. I don't remember. Yeah, okay, yeah. I swing at leader. So we're taking on 3. Leader's going to swing at leader. And now that I have some of those cards out of his hand, now I can swing at his leader. And now he's going to take these cards because I already I kind of relinquished his hand a little bit. And that's something that you'll kind of learn when you play. Is depending on the matchup, sometimes you want to swing at something else to make your opponent waste cards before you attack them. Other decks, you're just going to attack your leader. And that just depends on what your hand is, what your board is, what your opponent's board is, and what obviously your opponent's playing and what you're playing too. So there's a lot of factors. So I swing at leader. He uses another card, so he dropped 3 cards and drew 1 card from his life. So it's +2 for me in that regard. So now we're on turn 6. And I have 4 energy up, so I am sitting in the driver's seat currently. I don't really think there's a way for him to actually do anything in this sense. I think so what I was trying to do here, so I release from evil, and I love this card. So because it's a counterattack, so I basically blanked his card again, so he actually can't use any of the abilities, which is super good. And then I used the Frieza's army. So what happened there is I used the release from evil, and since that's a counterattack, it actually doesn't negate the attack, so you do have the ability to negate. So then I use the Frieza army to then negate, so I have a blocker on board then. And release from evil you can play for free if you have a Unison in play. That doesn't matter how many markers it has. So essentially, when I play with the release from evil, it acts as a +1 for my Unison. So it puts that card. It basically just blanks the Vegito. And then I played the Frieza's army to then negate, and then I played the blocker off of that, so then I can block his leader attack, so I can now force him to play something else. So here he's trying to say, he's like, okay, well, does this card have its ability still? I said no. So that's why I put the marker on there. So here again, he taps 3, and he attempts to play the Vegito, and I use another T-blow. And this was smart again, because he's out of Goku and Vegetas now. I believe all 4 of them are in his drop. And then, yeah, so I blanked this card, so now it's just a 20k. And, I use Aegis, restand 2, which is super good. I think I just take the damage here. Yeah. So, I'm trying to bait him in. For a double strike. I've never played against, a good amount of foreign people, foreign players, whatever. And I feel like a lot of them, just from streams that I've watched, they always play some form of overrealm as a game ender, some form of double strike overrealm, whether it's Mira, whether it's just something else random. My thought was, I'm like, okay, if I can bait him into maybe going in for a double strike somehow and just dumping his hand, since I am running the Hero and the Legion secret rare, I can just take it. And that was my hope. So here he uses his leader ability, which allows him to, I think he draws, but he does restand 2 blue energy. So then he taps 2, taps 3 again, plays another Vegito, And this one I cold bloodlust. And he's just like, man, this is rough. I'm just blanking every single one of his cards when they come in. So now he swings with this 20k. And I don't remember if I combo out of this. Because like currently, like in my head, because I know I have the Hero and the Legion lineage Secret Rare in my hand. I'm like, yeah, I don't think I can lose. I think I'm in a pretty good spot. So I was just letting him take me down as far as I can. So I Zamasu out because I want him to commit to some form of double strike because he has one energy open. So in my head, I'm like, okay, he's gonna either Mira or the Mira Assault from the Skies or something. So I saw him grab his deck to over. I'm like, okay, great. And then he played Awakened Power Bardock. I'm like, oh, this is the 20k double strike guy. I'm like, this is great. So he swings in. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. And then he just starts dumping his hand. And then I'm just like, here, Winsley, it's mine. Don't worry about it. He's like, oh, okay. I love that secret rare. It's so good. If you don't have the secret rare, you should buy one. It's still under $100. So then here he's like, yeah, I think I lost all of his cards to tap. He has 2 cards in hand. So I think I charge up to 7. I think. Yeah, I do. Yeah, so I charge up to 7 because I know it's game. So I'm like, I can't take that. It's black. So I take the Cold Bloodlust. Just draw an extra card. And so here I play Bergamo, 7-drop, one of my favorite yellow cards in the game. It's a barrier 25k triple attack that says if all your opponent's energies in rest mode, this card becomes a 4 cost. And then you choose all your opponent's battle cards in your own barrier, switch from the rest mode, and then they cannot restand during your opponent's next turn. So all of his cards can't restand. And I did that first. Although he actually can't use D-Magic. My fear was that one of his last cards with a super combo. I feel like he would have probably dumped it on the game-winning swing, but he didn't. So it kind of scared me. I wanted to play this card so to make sure that all of his energy was in rest mode. And then I just swing in with everything. And at this point, he has what, 5 cards in hand. So it's basically game at this point. But we'll just watch the rest of it out here. I swing with 25k and yeah, and then he had a bunch of dead cards. And I think the unison he was running there is the Pursuit Fusion or whatever, the Gogeta, the blue one. So yeah, we just dumped the hand. We went up to 45 double strike, and that was game there. So fun game, very strange deck. Definitely made me want to play a Wish Leader, and maybe I'll do it in the future. So who knows?